my ears. Had to do that. So now we're ready to get started on tonight. Yes, we are. So for those of you who are new to this here and to myself, I am the dynamic, daring, one-of-a-kind diva, Denise Silas, bringing you greetings all the way from Olive Branch, Mississippi. And would love to introduce you to who Empowered by DS is. Empowered by DS, the DS, of course, is for Denise Silas. I am one of three, is myself and my two daughters. It is our mission to empower women to be the best version of themselves. We have been doing this. This would be our completion of our third year, but officially as Empowered by DS, our second year. So we're really excited about what God is doing through us. And we do our empowerment through experiences. So throughout the year, we do a variety of things. So of course, here every week, for the most part, we're here for our Let's Talk About It Tuesday. It just got started in March, you guys. So I want to encourage somebody, if there's something that's on your heart and you said you just know that you need to do something, but you don't know how quite to do it, but you know how to at least get started. Was just a thought, an idea of another way that I can share information with women who were not local to me. And we have been doing this since March, and probably have missed two or three Tuesdays. At the time where we got started, didn't know who was going to be a part of it, didn't know who was going to say yes, didn't know how it was going to work out. But I am so glad that I was courageous enough to take a step. And then God worked the rest of it out. So this is our Let's Talk About It Tuesday. It allows us to connect not just with local women, but women across the country as well. And then we usually do a weekly devotional. I've gotten off track, but our whole goal is for us to empower women, the full woman. So from her faith to her finances, her family and relationships, her fun, and her fitness and wellness. So we do that a variety of ways. So we do that. And then monthly, we hold what's called Divas Dinner and Dialogue. That's more like our social in-person event. The whole purpose of that is to connect women through conversation, to help them build community and connection. Sometimes as we get to be adults, it's not as so easy to find friends. So that creates that atmosphere with it as well. And then quarterly, we host an empowerment workshop. And the purpose of the workshop is to help you in your professional and personal development. We have been doing that as a hybrid, local and virtual at the same time. Save the date for January 3rd. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. So we do that also quarterly. We have our Empower Me subscription box, so it helps us to bring some empowerment to your home, some few goodies in it, but it has a customized journal in it where what you can do is only focus on yourself, about how to get yourself in the next 12 weeks, helping you to achieve your goals and tracking them. Right now, we're working on our one that we're going to launch for January, so it's not too late to be a part of that as well. And we offer it also as a one-time box if you want to do a gift with purchase, and we have people do that as well. Yearly, we did our very first this year retreat where we did a day away to Nashville. We had an amazing time. So if you're on here and you were at that retreat, please put it in the chat that you enjoyed that experience. So it just kind of swooped the women away. We retreated on the bus. You guys had an amazing time on the bus, got there locally and did some sightseeing, some scavenger hunt. And then we had dinner and headed ourselves back on home. So, because sometimes we don't, as women, we get so busy, we don't want to go away too long, but it allowed us to at least get away enough. We are planning a wellness on the water that's going to be for 2027. So stay with us and you'll see that evolve as well. Usually in the springtime, springing into the new year, I do a fitness challenge as well. We just in September did our ovarian cancer awareness. My sister passed in 2011 for ovarian cancer. So in her memory, we have been bringing the awareness. So that was our 15th event we did for that. Right now, we're in the midst of our Adopt a Grandparent program that we do. We support Sacred Heart Southern Mission, where we look for women, not women, just people to partner with us to help us to be able to bring a little bit of joy to low-income seniors in northern Mississippi. And we have anywhere between 400 to 500 seniors that we try to support. So we can only do it through partnerships with as well. And then annually, we do a vision of victory. So it's our goal to start off the year with vision and bring it all to the end of the year to celebrate women. So this year we have to do it virtually, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as well. So everybody on here can participate with that. Here is our lineup for the month. Of course, the week of Christmas, we're not going to have anything. But on the 30th, we'll have like a New Year's Eve vision of victory. We'll be sending out information that you can share with us about any way that you wanted to celebrate. So you'll submit your photo and then any wins that you have for the year. And we create a PowerPoint of all the celebrations. And last year was amazing just to be able to celebrate each other. Because sometimes, we just be trying to tolerate folks, but we are in that, in our community, it's all about celebrating your wins. And you define what that looks like. I don't care what it is because we're not competing against nobody. It's all about what makes us feel good that we have accomplished in the year as well. Right now, for the holidays, if you're looking for a way to give, I've extended it beyond because we still have some boxes left for our gift of empowerment, and where you're able to save, you provide the person's information and we ship it off to them. It's just a little happy, but it's something different than, I don't know, the stuff that we give because I'm not a big shopper, but it's definitely something that can help make a difference for individuals. So keep us in mind if you're doing any holiday shopping and want to remember anybody. Also, this is the adopted grandparent. If you type senior back to the number that, if you got information, if you just type the word senior, you get all the detailed information. For those of you who have already contributed, I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. We have people, we've been doing this. I think this is our 12th year. So I don't just do stuff and keep it moving, you guys. What I believe in, I'm going to support, create it, and make it happen. So hopefully if you have been doing it for multiple years, I appreciate you. If this is your first time, I appreciate you. I know there's so many different ways that we can support. There's a lot of different events, different things that's happening, different people in need. So do it the best way you can. If you decide that you want to support some seniors, some low-income seniors, I would love for you to partner with us to do that as well. So many of you may or may not know that I am an empowerment coach. So I've been coaching women through direct sales in Mary Kay for 30 years. So I'm not new to this, but I am excited about helping people shift. So there's a little joke in the Decide Tribe community that I am flipping switches and pushing buttons. And what I mean by that, I'm always trying to help women to identify their gifts, shining their gifts unapologetically. And then I'm always pushing people outside their comfort zone. So I am not the person you want to tell that you have a goal that you've been slacking on, because I'm going to be the person that pushes you through that. So if I've ever been your pusher man, I call it, push you to something, put it in the chat, if it's something I've ever encouraged you to do. So I would love, for you to take the time, or we can even have a conversation to see if this is something that that you would be interested, if you're in the season of being stuck, trying to figure it out, going through transitions, and just need someone to help you navigate through that. This may be something for you. And I definitely love helping people to make that next step, even when they're scared. So this is the information for the 30th. So what I probably would end up doing is having you, when I send the information out, we may end up using a different link. We're not 100% sure about that yet, but definitely be thinking about how you want to be celebrated. Start making a list of all your accomplishments so that we can definitely gather that information to be included in our celebration PowerPoint that we will have. So December 30th, right from your home, we're going to do a couple of different things. So we'll just celebrate you there. We'll give you the opportunity to go in. We're going to have meet and greets and breakout rooms. So you'll even have the opportunity to do very similar to what we do at our Divas Dinner and Dialogue, but we'll just be doing it virtually. And then January 3rd, for those of you who are local, every January we do our vision board affirmation empowerment session. So I'm excited about some of the fun things that we're going to do. So it's not just about taking images and doing it. There's a couple new things that's going to be a part of it. So this is a great way to kick off your year. I always try to do the very first Saturday of the year to get us going right away. And then what we're doing, like what we're doing at the end of the year, the vision of victory, is always my goal to have you stay connected with me all year long so I can always encourage you, remind you, so that you don't do this vision board and put it behind your door and no longer see it. So we're trying to take it from vision to victory, not just talk about the things we want, but to see you progress through that and me support you through that process. So put that on your calendar. The information should be out this week on how to get registered for that. Check out our website. It shows all the things that we do. If you're looking for any one-on-one coaching, group training, but you can keep up with us, the things that we're doing through our website. Make sure you follow us on all platforms as well. At Empowered by DS, we're also on LinkedIn. We're also and if you go to the YouTube website, please subscribe there as well, as we just wanted to build our community. If you're on Facebook, make sure you join our Facebook community, the Side Tribe. That's our community to give women the opportunity to celebrate, to share with us. If you're being inspired by something, share it on there as well, so that we can just build a positive, safe space for women to connect and to navigate this thing called life as well. So that's it. That's all for me. I'm glad that you are here today. So let's get to it. I am going to stop here and bring her up. Ooh, okay. Let me see if I can find her. Okay. Y'all up in here today. Okay. Like literally. Nakita's put your video on so I can find you for real. There we go. So many people. Beautiful. Let's see here. There we go. Yay! Yay. Okay. If you jumped on later, make sure you put in the chat where you are tuning in from. Also share with us, how did you find out about tonight? So here we go. There we go. Awesome. All right, let's meet our amazing speaker on tonight. Nakita Odom, LCSW, licensed social worker.
Clinical, yes.
Licensed clinical social worker is a license, and it says it looks like. This is just raw, y'all. I'm just being my authentic self. Is a licensed clinical social worker with 20 years of experience in the mental health field. She brings both live experience and clinical expertise, lived experience and clinical expertise to her practice, offering an approach that is grounded, empathetic, and evidence-based. Her career spans behavioral health, forensic settings, geriatrics, there you go, and private practice, giving her a broad and nuanced understanding of client needs across the lifespan. Nakita is an EMDR trained clinician who specializes in helping individuals heal from deep emotional wounds and trauma. Born and raised in Bolivar, Tennessee, she earned her undergraduate degree in social work with Tennessee State University and her master's of social work from Union University. She's a proud mother of one son and remains actively engaged in community service throughout the Mid-South. Nakita volunteers with the Junior League of Memphis and is a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Delta DeSoto County, Mississippi alumni chapter. So introducing all the way, we lost you. Where your face at? All the way from somewhere in Mississippi. Where you go?
Okay, I'm back.
There you go.
I'm back.
Nakita, oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in this late hour to hear a few words. When Miss Denise asked about this topic, I was like, I absolutely can do this. Anyone that knows me knows I'm very passionate about my work. Um, and I say my work, I probably should say my calling. I've done this my entire career, and I will probably spend my entire career, the rest of it, doing this as well. So, um, I'm going to move through my information. I have myself a few notes, but I'm going to move through it. But I really want you guys to get this information because seasonal affective disorder is so prominent and people are not really aware that it's there or it even exists sometimes. So I'm just going to give you guys a little information about it, just some little takeaways. And I am definitely open for questions. I enjoy dialogue if we, have the time for that. So I think it's okay for you guys to maybe drop them in the chat and Miss Denise will kind of manage those. Okay. So I'm going to open up with a little scenario about a friend. We will call her Mary. Mary wakes up at 5 a.m. and pushes snooze on her alarm 3 times. She realizes she's probably fell asleep around 3 a.m. She wakes all three of her children and get them ready for school. She heads to the kitchen and realizes the children have no lunches because she was too tired to do the grocery shopping. Her husband has already left, but will let her know his sentiments about not having lunch later. Mary is off to drop her kids off, and then she realizes her youngest has forgotten her backpack at home. So now they're all late. She returns home to get the backpack and is off her on her way to drop the kids off at school. Mary walks into her workplace and a coworker stops her and says, "Hey Mary, your shirt's on inside out." Mary thinks this can't get any worse. She heads into the restroom, switches her shirt around, and cries silently in the bathroom stall. Mary then gets a call from her elderly dad saying, "Hey, did you forget about my appointment today?" Of course she did. Mary rushes from work to ensure her dad gets to his appointment. While waiting, she receives a text to RSVP for a friend's 50th birthday party. Mary quickly declines, stating, "I'll definitely be tired on Saturday." After the appointment, Mary picks her kids up and decides tonight will be pizza night. After getting the kids settled, Mary heads to bed, realizing it's only 7 p.m. Mary closes her eyes and it's 5 a.m. again, and the cycle continues. This has really been a sad day for Mary, literally. So I want you guys to kind of keep that scenario in your mind when we go into talking about seasonal affective disorder. Next slide. So, what exactly is seasonal affective disorder? Shortened by the acronym SAD fittingly. So, let's break down this disorder by word. So seasonal, it's just that it's by the seasons. So this is something that's going to be more affected in the fall and winter. There are studies that show seasonal affective disorder in the spring and the summer, but that is more so associated with bipolar disorder. So that's a whole nother topic. If you have questions, I'm definitely available. But we're focusing on the fall winter season. So, what do we typically get in the fall and in the winter? We get colder temperatures outside, we get decreased sunlight with daylight savings, which equates with decreased activity. So, that is the seasonal component. We're going to go to the affective component. Affective simply means your mood, your feelings, your attitude, and the disorder. This is going to kind of bring it all together. Disorders are conditions that disrupt our natural physical or mental functions. So you are persistently outside of your norm. That is what is going to define seasonal affective disorder. So, pretty much what we have is as the days grow shorter, the temperatures drop, many women experience mood changes in mood, energy, and overall mental health. Some notice mild shifts, feeling more tired or down than usual. For others, winter triggers seasonal affective disorder, a form of depression that can significantly affect your daily life. Next slide. All right. So symptoms that I have here, I made myself a little more in-depth list of the symptoms that I will go through. So a lot of the early signs are going to be subtle mood changes. These are going to be very small, but very noticeable to you. They may not be of much notice to anyone else, but you're going to begin to notice the subtle changes that you're going to experience. These can be subtle mood changes or what we just sometimes describe as just feeling off. Like something's not right. I can't quite pinpoint it, but something's just a little off. Um, then we're going to see the mild irritability, the decreased patience that sometimes can push over with our kiddos. That your patience just get really thin with them, your family, your coworkers, whoever. Um, the persistent feeling of sadness and hopelessness. And I want you guys to kind of see some words like persistent. I'm kind of emphasizing them because those are the ones that I want you to see. The persistent, the disruption of your routine. Those are the things that we're looking for. That's going to kind of determine if we're looking at seasonal affective disorder or we're just a little sad. What they call winter blues. Okay. Decreased energy, that can be I'm always tired. Not I'm tired today because I had a long day, but I'm always tired every day. I just feel so worn out. Um, Having problem with your concentration, mental fog, feeling sluggish, just trouble getting out of bed, and remember, Mary, she hit snooze 3 times. So I want you to, that's why I kind of read that to you guys. So I want you to think about the symptoms that Mary experienced, the things that we heard that are kind of on this list, okay? Um, Increased sleep, weight gain. And a lot of times the weight gain is very subtle. It's going to be just a little bit. And sometimes, well, we're in the holiday seasons, we're going to put it on the holidays. With seasonal affective disorder, you typically see the weight gain before the holidays. So that can kind of just be a little small cue that you can see that we're seeing it as soon as we kind of see the shift in the weather. So late October, early November, you may see that small weight gain. Cravings, I think that's on the PowerPoint slide. And this is the carb craving, the breads, the sweets, the sodas that you typically don't have. Decreased social activity. Remember, Mary declined going to the party, so you're not really wanting to do anything much extra than the things that you kind of have to do. Feeling overwhelmed, crying, typically for no reason. It's not associated with anything else. Just, you feel sad, you feel emotional. I want to make sure I didn't skip anything on the slide. And it talks about withdrawal from social activities and relationship. Okay, next slide. So I mentioned earlier about the winter blues versus seasonal affective disorder. Winter blues is going to be mild and manageable. That can just be I'm having an off day. I am a little tired. I ran a lot of errands. I didn't get sleep over the weekend, but now I'm rested. So we're going to be able to kind of shift from winter blues. Seasonal affective disorder is going to be more severe and it interferes with your daily functioning. That is what we're looking for. If you remember from our scenario, Mary did not do her shopping. She did not cook dinner. There were tons of things that we're not going to get done versus just a little lower mood that we may be experiencing. If your mood, if your symptoms affect your routine, your responsibilities, or your relationships, so you're able to see that you're neglecting your routine, whether that be your chores, your social obligations, your responsibilities inside your home, outside your home, and your relationships. These are the things that you are looking for that are going to be associated more so with the seasonal affective disorder. Next slide, please. Okay. So why women are more affected? I wanted to include this A because I did ask Miss Denise, are we normally targeting women here? And the answer was yes. So I wanted to definitely include why this is such a problem in our amongst our community. So the first thing is going to be hormonal shifts. The research shows that women are affected by seasonal depression 3 to 4 times more than men. And that's because of we'll talk about the hormonal shifts. So we have two times in life where we really have these big hormonal shifts: pregnancy and postpartum, and then menopause and perimenopause. So we know I'm not a medical professional by any means, but we know that there are a lot of hormonal changes that go on during that time. And on top of kind of having these hormonal changes, we're kind of having this depression as well. And these symptoms kind of mirror each other sometimes. Like in menopause, we have like mood swings, trouble sleeping, decreased activity. They kind of look the same in that way. Um, that these symptoms are kind of overlapping. Y'all forgive me. I have some notes, but I have to find my notes to make sure I'm telling y'all the right thing. Um, yeah, that they kind of mirror each other in their symptoms. So the hormones play a big role. So something else I found to be interesting is the effect of serotonin. So serotonin, let me find it, y'all. Forgive me. Okay. So serotonin in women is already lower than a man. So we're already at one disadvantage because we have less to begin with. So serotonin is a chemical that regulates mood, sleep, appetite, digestion, energy, and motivation, and pain. So all of these things that kind of will affect your mood and this depression is regulated by serotonin. So imagine you and your husband, and we want to be like even with the serotonin, but you're already here. Let me raise so y'all can see. You're already here, right? So then we have decreased light and we have decreased serotonin. They go together. So when we don't get the sunlight, the serotonin is going to automatically decrease, right? So you're here already. So your husband's going to come here, but you're going to be way down here. Let me lift up so you can see again. So you're going to already be lower. So this is one of those hormonal things that's going on with us that is completely out of our control. Um, we're just kind of configured that way. And of course, we know that we need the light. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit because I see someone says that they make sure they get sun in the winter, and that's exactly right. We need the light. So, life transitions. So, the life transitions that really stick out for me is going to be when you college is going to be the first one. When you go to college, I don't know if everyone really remembers, but I know for me personally, if I did not take anything away from college, it really taught me to increase my relationship with God and prayer and things like that because you're transitioning from home and having people that take care of you to having to do a whole lot of things on your own and make a whole lot of decisions that you did not have to make before.
Mhm.
So I think that they cite that to be the first life transition that women experience, that's going to cause the hormonal changes in your body and just life changes for you. Some of the others that I kind of pinpointed was childbirth, beginning, starting your family, getting married. So we're going to go with birth, and then we're going to go to the polar opposite with death. These are major life changes that really socially, emotionally, mentally change your life. Becoming a mom for the first time. I only have one kid, so I can't speak to becoming a mom several times, but becoming a mom for the first time is probably the best day of your life, but probably the scariest day because you're now responsible for a whole human. So that creates a lot of stress for you. And getting to the point where you start to experience major deaths in your life will also create a complete shift in your mind, in your emotions socially as well. So I wanted to just briefly talk a little bit about grief. This is not actually a part of the PowerPoint, Miss Denise, but I did want to just kind of plug it real quick. With it being the holidays. The holidays will sneak up on us really fast when we're dealing with grief, and we will have a lot of emotions that we don't understand. Anyone that has experienced any type of loss, you know that grief is tricky and sometimes sneaky and sometimes just mean as heck. It will hit you just out of nowhere, and you have so many emotions, and sometimes you just don't know what to do with them. So this is a time that the seasonal depression can kind of either be masked by grief or just be compounded by grief as well. So I just would like for people to be aware and just be very accepting of your grief. It is very normal. Whatever feelings you feel, they are yours and they are valid. So allow yourself to feel that. You know, a lot of times people, when we feel feelings that we don't understand or we just don't want to feel, we just try to kind of block that out.
Mhm.
But we must allow ourselves to feel those feelings. And I just wanted to throw a little brief in there for us because it is the holidays and a lot of us struggle silently with grief during the holidays, and we don't have to. Um, just to know that there's support there, but it can very much so affect this depression at this time of the year. Okay, let me see. Caregiver responsibilities and chronic stress. So, caregiver responsibilities, I see a lot of faces that I know in the group today. So, I know some of you ages. So, I know we're at the age where we are parents to our children, but we are becoming parents to our parents. So, we have that dual caregiver role, and it gets very stressful to have to, you know, take care of your family as well as take care of your parents sometimes. Some of us are maybe only children or the only child that is, you know, connected or close to the parents. And that becomes very stressful and overwhelming. Um, because I always joke with people and tell them, my mama is very hard to parent. She's hard to raise sometimes, but she really isn't. But it is hard sometimes trying to raise your parents because they're adults. Like you really can't raise them, but you have to look out for them. You have to make sure that they're getting the care that they need, things like that. And it also becomes real for us to begin to make end of life decisions. And that is just tough. There is no real preparation for end of life, but there's definitely preparation for end of life decisions. And we have to learn to kind of separate them. Yes, Janice, parenting the parent is extremely difficult. They just need like detention, punishment, grounding, whatever. But those kind of roles will have you very overwhelmed, and you will sometimes miss the signs of seasonal depression, just being overwhelmed. And we will say, oh, I'm just overwhelmed with my responsibilities. And sometimes it's just a little bit more than being overwhelmed with your responsibilities. So, okay, next slide. All right, y'all. Okay, y'all. Give me a minute. I got myself lost in my notes. I shouldn't have made them. Okay, management. Okay. So someone mentioned earlier, I can't see it now, about the sunlight. We need light because that's what we're losing in daylight savings time. We're losing the light. If you're not out or inside of your house by like 5:15, it is dark. So sometimes we have to make sure that we're getting sunlight. Open your blinds. If your house is where you can get natural sunlight, but they have light therapy where you can buy lights. And they're not, I actually looked at them because I thought they were expensive. They're called like light boxes and things like that. But what it does is that it emulates natural light. It has like a certain wattage and all that kind of stuff, kind of fancy. But the basic thing that you're looking for is a light that is going to give you the best replica of sunlight. They recommend, I want to say it's 20 minutes in the morning at least if you're going to do light therapy. And that can be 20 minutes of you, kind of getting dressed. Because I know we spend 20 minutes in the mirror, making sure that we're kind of together in the morning to kind of emulate that sunlight. Maintaining a regular sleep schedule. And this is going to be a sleep schedule that is going to be yours. Some of us um, operate on about 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Probably not the best, but that's just where we are. And some of us are demons unless we have 8 hours. So you're going to have to regulate your sleep schedule that is going to be very specific. I always tell my clients, do what is best for you. Increased physical activity. A lot of us, and I'll be the first to raise my hand, I'm very guilty of not doing my physical activity. I have a knee injury right now that has me very limited, but it does not say that I cannot have any physical activity. So we get so busy that we forget. So we have to just figure out a way to get that in. I really like doing like the high intensity, the hit workouts, because they're like 15, 20 minutes and you get a lot of activity and you can get them done. Walking, gymming, whatever it is that you like to do, but get some type of physical activity. And remember, you're not doing physical activity like for weight loss, you're doing physical activity for the activity itself. So if it's not something that's going to be like a high caloric workout, but just the physical activity, even if you work, those of you that may be like me, I work in a hospital. A lot of my coworkers, you'll see us just walking because the hospital is huge and we get so many steps and we need that activity. We need that break. So you can get kind of creative with your activity, but just kind of figure out a way to get that activity in. I'm going to skip talk therapy for just a minute and we're going to go down to strengthen your social connections. Um, we have to kind of push ourselves to not become like hermits in the winter. And I'm very guilty of it. When I come inside of the house, I don't leave. I don't care how hungry I am. I don't care what's going on outside in the world. I like to be inside when it gets dark. And we have to kind of force ourselves out of doing that because we will just waste away the entire winter inside. So, just kind of what I'm trying to do is just to kind of schedule social activity. So I'm kind of obligated to do some things. And with it being the holiday times, we have a whole lot of invites coming across our desk, coming across our phone. Just get out there and just be able to do some of those things will definitely boost your spirit. Just being in the presence of others sometimes is all that you need. Um, Practicing grounding and mindfulness. So, grounding is just being back in reality. When we get too far gone, grounding is just bringing ourselves back to where we are. So, I wrote down the definition to give you guys to anchor in the present moment in order to pull away from a distressing situation. So when you're having that really, really tough day, grounding is just coming back to reality, simply put. Okay. So I have a grounding activity that I like to use with all ages that I wanted to share with you guys. So it is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is what we're going to do. So we're going to do 5 things that you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. If you do that right in the moment, right where you are, and you look around, I promise you, you will be out of whatever you were in, whatever. mood or temporary situation that you were in. Once you do that, because you're going to have to look around, you're going to have to think about this, and you're going to be back in your reality. So on those tough days, even if you can't remember, I tell people, even if you can't remember which sense goes with which number, just do it anyway. So because I normally have to look it up every time I give it to my clients, but five was five things you see. So you can do this just to kind of get yourself back grounded. Mindfulness. The definition that I wanted to be simple for you guys is focusing on your awareness of the present moment. You're noticing your thoughts, your feelings, your body sensations, and emotions. Again, it is just being present in your moment. Mindfulness is non judgmental. You're just noticing what's going on with yourself in that moment. This is not categorizing things to be good or bad, yes or no. You're just noticing what's going on. The example and the activity that I want to give you guys for mindfulness is meditation. Meditation is super easy. And you can do this whenever you want, or body scans. And body scans are just that you scan your body to see what you're feeling in different places of your body. Um, and again, this is just to kind of have you back grounded in reality and focusing on the present moment. Okay. So a lot of times we can't, well, I have this a little later um in the information, but I'll always recommend like morning meditation. Having your time to do what you do for yourself, whether it's like a devotional, whether it's a cup of coffee, if you like to watch TikTok reels, whatever it is, to have time to do things for yourself. And this is a time that you can add in your meditation, your prayer, whatever it is that you like to do. Next slide. Oh, I'm sorry. Go back. I'm sorry, Miss Denise. I forgot the talk therapy. Okay, talk therapy. So I have been in mental health a long time, and I am a big supporter of talk therapy. That is just finding a therapist, seeing them, kind of talking it out. They're there to just support you. Okay. Um, there may be some things that you don't know that's really driving some issues that you're having with your depression. This could be more than seasonal. It may be more pronounced in this season, but this could be more than just seasonal depression. So, if you have tried some of the things that we've kind of had tonight, as far as your management, and it seems to not be better, I would recommend just trying to talk to someone about it, just to see if it's a little bit more there that you can do to manage. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I missed that one. Next slide. When to consider medication. You should consider medication when your symptoms interfere with your daily functioning, um, your experience persists low mood or hopelessness. You experience persistent low mood or hopelessness. You have difficulty completing daily tasks, and you have not found relief from lifestyle strategies alone. And this is something that you experience every single year, would be times to seek medication. So these are professional recommendations, but I'm going to give you my recommendations. Yes, try everything you can. I am 100% support of therapeutic interventions, but I am much more reserved with medication recommendations. I really want everyone to consider what we're actually putting into our body and to know that we absolutely need that. I really recommend trying everything that you can prior to medication, because I don't want us to be a people that we rely on medication to fix us. That's not exactly what we should be doing, and we should try more holistic things and things that we can do on our own. to assist us in managing. So I really like to use the word managing or coping and not fix. Like you're not broken, so you don't have to be fixed, but there are some things there that you can manage. But if you feel overwhelmed and you have tried everything that you can try and your symptoms don't seem to be getting better, yes, you can talk to a medical professional. I would recommend a psychiatrist to manage psychiatric medications. That is, if something is wrong with your heart, we see the cardiologist. If something is wrong with your kidney, we see the nephrologist. So if something is going on with our brains and our emotions and our feelings, things like that, see a psychiatrist. They are the expert. A lot of people, we rely on our family practitioner and our gynecologist for some reason to prescribe us antipsychotics. Yes, they are medical professionals, but that is not their area of expertise. And I would much rather for you have the expert to manage medications that are going to possibly give you side effects so that you can get a benefit from it, right? So you want the risk benefit to be in your favor. So definitely go to someone who specializes in that. Okay, next slide. Okay, I've made it to the end, y'all. Thank y'all. If you need more help, please 988 is the current suicide crisis line. It is not just suicide, it is just crisis, and that's why we have "and" there and not "just," okay? So 988 is a nationwide suicide line. If you happen to be a veteran, there is an option for you. But this is a line you can call. It is always staffed and they are able to provide assistance. This is if you are in a immediate crisis, okay? This would include if you are having feelings to harm yourself or someone else or feelings to kill yourself or someone else. This would qualify as an immediate crisis. And you are always able to call local law enforcement as well. Helpful websites. Psychology Today is a wonderful website that would allow you to find a local therapist if you saw fit for that. Women's Therapy Institute and just information would be the National Institute of Mental Health. Back to Psychology Today. Psychology Today, if you have not actually saw the website or used it in the past, it filters the clinicians from area, expertise, gender, race, any special topic that's a special topic, and it will filter it down. Typically, when you add the filter, you'll get like 3 to 5 people, which it will make it so much easier for you to decide on a clinician versus going on a website or going to your insurance website and you see 50 people. That is overwhelming. We know when we get overwhelmed and we get discouraged, what do? We don't. So, using something that has those filters, it will definitely be useful for you. Okay. Next slide. Is that my last one, or do I have one more?
One more. That's two more.
All right. Okay. So, don't let the winter dim your light. Sad and winter blues are real, but they do not define who you are. By using effective interventions and seeking support, you can maintain your well being and allow your light to shine even in the darkest months. Okay. See if I missed any. I think that's it. Do I have one more? Oh,
You
that's
got
it.
great information.
Yes, I am leaving my contact information just because sometimes you may have a question, and mental health is something that has been very, I would say, almost taboo, and especially in the minority communities where we just really don't talk about it all that much. I'm glad that we're increasing awareness, and I'm always available if you just have any questions or anything. If I can't help you, I definitely probably know someone that can, but I will definitely try my best to be of any assistance. Um, my phone number here, you can definitely shoot me a text. Literally, seriously, if you have a question, I promise you I will respond. If you think of anything else that you may want to ask, okay? I think that is all of my slides. And do we have any questions? Are we okay to move on to questions?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure, for sure, for sure. Um, any questions, thoughts? I know we had a couple people say a few things in the chat as well. But if you can come off mute if you have any comments or any thoughts. Let me see. Um, I know Sunshine said her behavior therapist already said that this was what what she be experiencing something literally
Right.
exhausted, overwhelmed, and forgetfulness every day for the last 2 weeks.
Right. That brain fog is real. Like we're sleeping, but we're not resting. And I know sometimes people don't understand that, but you're sleeping and you're waking up, and before you can get out the door, it's like, oh my God, I'm so tired. But I know I slept all night. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's very real. You're exhausted, your mind's constantly going, you have so much to do in your mind, and it's just like I'm not really getting it done. So yeah, definitely it could definitely be what you're experiencing. Yes, I will drop the grounding. I will drop it in the text. Yes, I have been waking up as well. I'm just reading up a couple of the chats. So I wake up like every hour. It's like since the winter has gotten here, the nights get so long, but it's not working in my favor because I'm waking up every hour and I'm still waking up like super tired. So we have to, just kind of really be on top of that with our management. And I wrote some little notes to myself, um, some things that I wanted to leave you guys with. So I have some things that we can do daily, and we talked about the meditation, but I am a big believer of affirmations. So we have to really be positive with ourselves and cast down all of those negative thoughts, all of those bad things that we're thinking about, and replace them with something positive. It seems super cornballish, but it really, really works, and it will help you to just kind of push through the day. And I often tell my clients, we're talking about pushing through the day, but we may have some days where we're pushing through the hour, we're pushing through the minutes, where it is tough, and those affirmations trying to will try to kind of get us through those times. The light exposure, we talked about the light therapy, getting out there when we see the sun. We know a lot of days we don't see the sun, but when we do, just kind of really getting out there so we can see the sun, making sure that we're exercising, having some kind of physical activity. Like I said, just walk a few laps on your break when, eat your lunch, take your 15 and walk during that time. You will see a change, and you will see it quickly when you're moving and all of that. It's going to increase those endorphins, and we're just going to naturally feel better. um Planning and organizing our lives a little bit better. I am really bad about planning things out, but I will absolutely get them done. So using those planners, using your phone, making plans, planning things that, and the last one I have is just self-care. Planning your self-care, making sure you're doing something for yourself. We spread ourselves, we're moms, wives, mates, workers, friends, we're all of these things, and we get spread so thin, and we forget to give time to ourselves. So allowing yourself, and I just say 15 minutes, if that is all you have, give yourself 15 minutes each day where you're doing something that is yours, that is for you, whether that's reading your book that you're trying to read, whether it's watching your TikToks or things like that, doing your meditation, watching your favorite show, whatever it is. Do something that does not belong to anyone else. I'm not doing anything for my kids. I'm not doing anything for my husband. I'm doing something that belongs to me. That is important that we don't move away from that. And we're just going to feel a little bit better by doing that. Also, I want you guys to be intentional with extending grace to yourself that we give to everyone else. We have to be able to extend grace to ourselves. and I include myself in that, am very, very tough on myself. But I'm very much able to extend grace to other people. We have to learn to give that grace to ourselves sometimes and allow ourselves to not be perfection, because we're not going to be that way every day. And when we run low on energy and we run low on compassion and all of these things, we have to remember you cannot fill a cup if yours is empty. So you have to extend that grace. You have to make sure that you're getting that self care so we can be what we want to be to others.
I would encourage if you guys drop in the chat what you do for self-care, because I think we think it has to be something so extensive that sometimes we can easily say, well, take time for yourself, and they're like, okay, with all the stuff, people still can't think the thought. um, you know, I love doing a face mask because honestly, I can still keep moving because I can't sit down. But at least I can do the face mask. I can still go and move around, do other things. So for me, that's still the self care. Self care for me is working out. Like for some people, that's not self care. So drop in. It may be binging on a movie, but if we can drop in the chat, maybe that'll give some people some ideas that they didn't think about, especially if you have smaller kids or if you have, that's the major one. Like, how do you do it? And I know some people do it with their children. I know it's for yourself, but they figured it out. Doing an at-home pedicure, just putting your feet in some water, like just being able to stop. But I think if we share something that may help somebody else to say, oh, I didn't think of that as self-care, because then we sometimes may say, I'm not doing self-care, but you just didn't realize that was a form of it. And we almost got to take what we can get, right? We got to start somewhere with that. But I would love for you guys to do that. Coloring, that's a good one. That
Hmm.
is that is a
Hmm.
good one. I know Katrina always talk about adult coloring books, and I've started put coloring as in my empowerment journals that I developed. So, because I didn't realize that was a thing, like for adults to do coloring. So, um, word searches are, it's another way to do it as well. Um, I love music also. How many of you, when you get home, maybe pull in the driveway or pull in your garage and you sit there for a moment before you go in the house? Like, you just kind of take that moment before you get out of the car and just kind of like, okay, wrap it up a thought or something like that. I remember when my girls were little, we had to, especially with my oldest, I would often, we had two levels. So my husband would be upstairs with her, and I would go downstairs in the office and I would close the big door like I left and be sitting in a room, like literally in the office on the floor, just doing anything just to have that little time for myself. I mean, how many of you sit on the toilet, but you're not really using the bathroom? Like, that's time. I know this sounds crazy, but these are little things that you just gotta take it where you can get it. I mean, take it because it's not going to always be perfect, right? It's not going to always be perfect, but how can you still be able to have those moments? I'm a big audio book listener. I'm not a reader, but some people sit down and can read. Some people, will binge on a show. I usually catch my favorite show at 10, 11 o'clock at night, not in the traditional time of it. But yes, we see some good ones. I got some good ones over here. Um, and put in the chat, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite go-to song? And I'm asking these questions because when we're starting to feel a little bit low, maybe these are some of the things you can grab on. Read the chat. Maybe these are some things that you can grab a hold to for yourself that you didn't think about it. Having that song, playing that song, even though we may be cooking, playing the song that is the song that really brings our heart joy. um, I know we're trying to do it just by itself, but when you can't, what's your other option? Like, I still, um, my favorites, and I've never been anywhere where this didn't shake up the whole room. I just want to praise you. That song forever and ever and ever. I ain't gonna give y'all my singing voice, but it's just finding that, getting somebody else's playlist. I know driving to Chicago, driving to Iowa, I listened to Janice's gospel playlist. You know, maybe it's even getting somebody else's, if where they've taken the time to do it, and then you can still benefit from it. So just really want us to kind of think outside of the box as ways that we can still be able to offer some self-care. Anybody have any comments, any thoughts, anything that sparked from the conversation? Aha, affirm what she shared, anything that you guys want to share? Don't be so quiet. I know y'all not quiet. So hopefully you grab something. Nobody has to. Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But it was good information, and hopefully, you think, hey, um, that you even think of some of the stuff she said, and think about some of the people that you're around. Have you noticed that there's anybody that may have been a little bit different than they normally? They're outside of their box. They're that maybe you may just want to say, hey, you should watch this video. This may be, you may be experiencing this, or just encouraging somebody to do it. I see we have some other things in the chat. But did you say what Mary said? I'm trying to figure out, how did you know the story of my life in your scenario? How many of us could relate to that story? I mean, give me a reaction. I mean, that story hit home as something you can definitely relate to what you were saying. That was like a perfect way to open this up. I see Vera said, during my busy days at work, I make time to take a walk and just air out my thoughts and feelings. When it's raining or snowing, I walk inside. Walking has helped me get through those challenging days. And Lolita said she didn't know there was two different types of conditions. I know, me too. The winter blues versus the sad. I didn't either. That was good. That was good as well. So awesome. Do you have any final words? I feel really sorry for the sister. Do you have any other final words you want to share?
Just final thoughts. I want to personally thank everyone that has tuned in tonight. I see a lot of my tribe here tonight. I really, really want to thank you guys for tuning in. I was very nervous but super excited to do this because, again, this is just stuff that we don't really talk about all that much. And a lot of people were like, hey, very interested in this topic. And I was like, oh, great, thanks. Come on out. But I just want to thank you guys, because I know I would never be able to stop and thank each of you. We really, really appreciate it. I hope that you were helped by some of the information shared, or at least you can help someone else that may need the information. Again, always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything. Just very, very thankful. I'm so excited that you guys were here, and I hope you were helped in some type of way by the information.
Awesome. And thank you so very much, Nakita, for saying yes, this whole Let's Talk About It Tuesday is not something I can do by myself. So the fact that you have said yes, and took the time and shared your expertise on tonight, I just pray that God would just pour just an amazing amount of blessings for you, for your willingness to pour into us on tonight. So ladies, you have assignment. Who do you know that you can share the information with? I'm a big believer that empowered women empower. So, and it's, whether it's empowering your family members, be bold and courageous enough just to say, if you see somebody who may have some of the symptoms that she talked about tonight, that you just say, hey, I think you should check out this video, and be able to then hopefully, and for a safe space for that person, be able to then have them to acknowledge some things, because we don't want a person to be in a situation where they're depressed and then they can't figure out how to get out of it, and it ends up into a worst case scenario as well. So we share because we care. We share because we care. We are our sister's keeper, and then anybody in our tribe, in our space that God has blessed us to have any type of connection to, we want to make sure that they are encouraged as well. So thank you guys for joining in on tonight. I will have, probably in the next 48 hours, I should have the information on the Empowered by DS YouTube channel for you to be able to share. And hopefully you will come back next week. You will get a text. Now that you're here, you will get a text from that number. And I always tell people, just, stay in. If you get a text and it's not a topic that you want, just at some point, another topic's going to pop up. And if it's not a topic for you, share the topic with somebody else, and maybe we can help make a difference and encourage some people. So you guys have a great rest of the night. If you do not join us at any other time in this month, I pray that you have a safe and prosperous end of this year, getting ready for the next year, so that we can have amazing wrap up and then get our new year in gear. So have a great night. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night.